Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. A lot to talk about, my friends. Let's jump right into the parsha, but in the context of how it connects to the month that we are in on at least one of the calendars that we share. We are part, as you can see from this pin that's on my shirt, we are part of building love and equality in our world. And for the Jewish community, that has included, thank God, the recognition that God's image includes people of all genders and all orientations and all sexual identities. This has been an evolving part of what it is to be part of a faith community, no question. But this is Pride Month. And I learned the difference between tolerance and pride in this conversation that I had once with a well known rabbi in Jerusalem, who, in his own Orthodox community, was trying hard to build a bridge. And so he convened a group of all of his students and a few of their family members. I was privileged to be among that group. And he was talking about the future for LGBTQ Jews in the Orthodox world. And I remember being in awe of this rabbi's bravery for having the conversation within an Orthodox context, because for a very long time, and still in many sectors of the Orthodox world, there isn't a place for this conversation. And many young people and many adults have suffered because their community has not affirmed their humanity. And it really is that terrible and that simple. So this rabbi was having the conversation, and I remember him saying that we are trying to find a way to show tolerance. And I remember someone in the crowd who I knew was still in the closet, but struggling because of their Orthodox upbringing, to be upfront about their pain and beauty. And I remember this person getting up and saying, Rabbi, I so appreciate you having this conversation, but I don't think we want to be tolerated. This was them coming out in public. I don't think we want to be tolerated. I think we want to be celebrated. And that was an incredibly important moment in my own Jewish journey, to hear about the love that was possible between two men or two women, and to hear about it in terms of sanctity and celebration. As part of Pride Month, one of the things we need to do is make sure that we don't fall into the trap of using language like tolerate to talk about our children and our sisters and our brothers and our parents and our family members. As one really wonderful literary giant of our day, Lin-Manuel Miranda, famously said in a speech, love is love is love is love is love. And in this moment, we are called to be part of the Jewish community's love of all of our children and all of our adults. There are trailblazers from within the Jewish community, including Harvey Milk of blessed memory, including countless other leaders and modern faith leaders, including Rabbi Denise Eager and Rabbi Aaron Weininger, who in their worlds, the conservative and reform worlds, and Rabbi Steve Greenberg in the Orthodox world, have been trailblazers, showing the synthesis, even with struggle, of being who you are in fullness. It's a test of our love, actually, to see what we can do with the model and bravery that they have shown. So part of what we do is this coming Sunday, at least in New York, at the Pride Parade, we have a wonderful gathering called Jew York Pride, right? New York, Jew York Pride, where we have co-sponsored historically with organizations like Eshel, that creates a beautiful tapestry for Orthodox gay Jews, JQY, which has done a lot of outreach in the Jewish queer youth world, especially in the Orthodox world, but not only, with Keshet, which is the national organization creating resources and programming and eye-opening conversations like the one that brought me in to this work, with its founder, my beloved friend Idit Klein, and countless other organizations, including Congregation Beit Simchat Torah, the largest queer synagogue in the world, actually, which is here in Manhattan, and other organizations. I focus on all this, friends, because we don't focus on it enough. This coming Sunday is the Pride Parade. I've been blessed to be there a few times. We are part of a gathering on Sunday called New York Pride. I think a colleague placed the link just above on Facebook. You can find it if you look for it too. But I hope that you'll consider tuning in, maybe even being present. It is so important for us to affirm the place of our children, of our parents. And we have always sought to grow our circles of belonging and to evolve our consciousness to understand that the image of God looks like all of us, loves like all of us. Let's connect it to the Parsha just for a moment. But if the only thing I said today was how our love is called to be infinite, we are called to model God's love. And that means every image of God is equally deserving of such love. The sanctification of their love. Not just tolerate, but to love, to celebrate. And speaking of the model of love, my parents are both here on the broadcast. So hi, Ima. Hi, Abba. It's good to see you both. Thanks for teaching me what love looks like. In this week's Torah portion, Shlach, there is a very famous section where spies are sent to the Promised Land to scout it out, to see what it looks like, what's possible, what challenges lie ahead. And when they come back, and we'll talk about this more this week, but when they come back, they bring a critical incident report that this is what the land looks like, this is the topography, this is who lives there. And then they talk about the Nephilim, the fallen ones, which in other mythologies we call titans. And they talk about, 10 of the spies talk about how we were grasshoppers in our own eyes, chagavim be'einenu, and so that is what we must have seemed like to them. I want to talk about that just for a moment. What it means, the deep wound that signifies. When I looked at them, I felt so small, and so I must have looked small to them. Commentators believe, I believe, that was where the problem really lived, in the 10 spies not understanding that they were not small at all. They were the leaders of our people, and they had the capacity to stand tall and strong and faithful, and that their courage would inspire the community. Yes, Rose, Joshua and Caleb and the rest of the spies are in this week's Torah portion. The two spies, Joshua and Yoshua ben Nun and Kalev ben Yefuneh, they stood up and didn't deny the challenges ahead, but they said, Hakol nuchal, Yachol nuchal. You know how that's been translated in American civil rights fights? We shall overcome. It's a translation straight out of this week's Torah portion. And when our ancestors, these pioneers, these teachers of ours, the beautiful torchbearers that we are blessed to know today, when they stand up and they say, I see a world where all love is affirmed, where two human beings can build a holy life blessed by God and community, where pride is sanctified. I have learned from them. We must all learn from them what it is to not see ourselves as grasshoppers. We're not too small to champion love. We're not too small to know that we're worthy of love. We should never, ever consider ourselves grasshoppers. When we do, and it's fine to have doubts sometimes and to be thoughtful, when we do, and then we think other people see us as that, we also miss the obligation of every other human being to see our divine dignity. Every human being created in the image of God. I remember the first time I officiated at a same-sex kiddushin, a same-sex Jewish wedding. And it was new. It was new, and I'd never done it before. It was counter to some people's approaches to Judaism. I stood under that chuppah and I just did the traditional liturgy, replacing the language. Instead of chatan and kala, groom and bride, I said kala ve'kala. And it was so powerful, but not for the reasons that I expected it to be. I thought it would be powerful because it was something I hadn't done before. It was an expansion of holiness, and all that is true. But I remember that first time that I stood under chuppah with two women to bless their marriage. And someone asked me afterwards, what did it feel like? And my answer is the holiest feeling I can express, which is, it felt like a wedding. It just felt like a wedding. It felt like love. It felt like God pouring through. It felt like two people who found each other in a world of billions. It felt like God was smiling. And yes, tradition often has a long way to go, but isn't that part of God's process too? Isn't that part of what it is to be part of a divinely inspired trajectory of human beings just trying to make peace and life? Isn't it so beautiful to know that love is love is love? No one should feel like a grasshopper, because every one of us has God's glowing heart embedded in our souls. And the way we love is God's love pouring out from us. The way our family members love. The way our neighbors love. It's holy. And if we don't see that, that's some work we have to do on ourselves. Because pride is the natural state when you get to love and be loved. So this Sunday, friends, this Sunday, I hope you'll be part of New York Pride. I hope you'll amplify all the love in your heart and see all the love that could be. With color, with passion, with peace, with joy. A little bit of flamboyance never hurt anybody. Just bring it all in and see yourself in the eyes of every human being who celebrates their love every day of the year, especially Pride Month and especially at Pride this Sunday. I hope you'll be there. So bless you all, friends. And in the name of love, until we are all whole again. Let's just call upon that love right now. And send it east. Send it east. Send it through the ground. Call out with your whole heart. With every color you can imagine, send it into the eyes and souls of those still in darkness. We love you so much. We need you home. You deserve that love too. All of you. Kolon baleva penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, Tzeinu, Eretz Zion, v'Yerushalayim. Bless you, friends. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow.